Welcome back. Now, you can describe this as both cheering and not cheering news, if you like. The cheering part is that Nigeria has moved up 4 places in the latest Transparency International Corruption Perception Index. The country moved from 148 position in the 2017 ranking to 144 in 2018. But the not cheering news is that the country's CPI score remains at 27. That's 27 over 100. Same score as that of 2017. So not much of a change for Nigeria on the ranking, if you like. Botswana remains Africa's most transparent country, followed by Namibia, Mauritius, and Senegal. Nigeria is tied in the same position with Kenya, Comoros, Guatemala, and Mauritania. Now, the Transparency International report comes at a time when the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has charged the former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachi Lawal, and the former Director General, National Intelligence Agency, IOK, for corruption. Both men had since been indicted by a panel headed by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. While Babachi Lawal is facing a 10-count charge, IOK is facing a 4-count charge. Some believe all these efforts should have earned Nigeria a better rating on the Transparency International Index. Managing Director of Transparency International, Patricia Moreira, emphasized the need for Nigeria to do more to strengthen checks and balances and protect citizens right now with democratic institutions under threat. Nigeria is still perceived as a country deep in corruption without clear policies to address the menace. Transparency International said, that's what Transparency International said now. So what exactly can the country do to move faster out of the world's corruption zone? What steps should be taken by government to address this situation? Joining me to discuss this further is Awa Rafsanjani, who is the Executive Director of Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, and the head of Transparency International in Nigeria. Mr. Rafsanjani, thank you very much for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much.
What exactly does this new report tell us, I mean, in terms of corruption in Nigeria?
The 2018 Corruption Perception Index report, as released by Transparency International, clearly shows that corruption is still very pervasive, very endemic, and very disturbing in Nigeria, because the report shows that Nigeria has not actually improved in terms of its scoring. Out of 100 mark, Nigeria only scored 27,
and we got 27 last year, the year before as well.
Yeah, so it is not different from the 2017 in terms of the scoring. The scoring is the most important aspect in this Corruption Perception Index, which clearly shows that corruption situation has not improved. And this is partly because all the recommendations we provided to Nigerian government in 2017 index report.
What are those recommendations? Can you just
the specific recommendation? One of the specific recommendations we gave Nigerian government was that we have a public procurement law in the land which is being flagrantly abused and disregarded because its major component is not being complied with, which is constitution of the Public Procurement Council. It has not been constituted, and therefore contract is still as usual. Business is still as usual in terms of corruption in the contract implementation in Nigeria. So that is one major setback.
You still have that Bureau of Public Procurement. It's still in place. It's just the council that has not been set up.
Yeah, the council has not been set up. And in addition to the council not being set up, even compliance with the with the provisions, with many of the provision is not also being respected. As you can hear, so many disputes, so many complaints by many contractors who probably they believe they won the contract, but some people are top.
Now, excuse me. Something I want to also find out from you. Now, you say the provisions are not being complied with. Is that a failure now on the part of the Bureau of Public Procurement? That's the BPP?
It's not only the Bureau of Public Procurement, it is also the ministries and parastatal that are responsible for awarding contract. When you don't follow the due process, when you don't follow the laid down rules and regulation as contained in the Act, there's likely going to be a breach, and that's why a lot of contractors, they feel that they are shortchanged, and therefore we insist that the only solution to this is to ensure that we have the council being constituted and inaugurated. This will help in terms of dealing with so many issues. And secondly, another area that we recommended to Nigerian government in the 2017 index was enactment of the whistleblower legislation. The absence of whistleblower legislation is making many people not to come out to really expose corruption because they are not protected.
Yeah, and you're quite right. Basically, what we have in place at the moment with the whistleblower policy, it's just a policy. It's a policy. It's still not, there isn't an act now to back it. So the National Assembly will need to enact an act to back it. Is that what you mean?
Yes, but unfortunately, even the executive did never send any bill, in that regard. So it is the National Assembly through the private member bill that they actually attempted to even have the whistleblower bill in place. But we are saying that if we are serious about fight against corruption, government must be proactive in terms of ensuring that all legislation and policy that will help to ensure that corruption is dealt with, are actually in place. So this has not been done, and that is one major problem. Again, the freedom of information, law that we have is also being disregarded and disrespected by so many government agencies. There's no way you can also be able to improve on your rating when there's no, access to freedom of information. And that is one recommendation we also provided in the previous index that has not been complied with. Another area that we also recommended is to strengthen some of the anti-corruption institutions and provide them with enabling resources to be able to do their work. The reason why many of the anti-corruption agencies are not being able to succeed in so many prosecutions they have, they have made is because they don't even have enabling resources. Many of them, they don't have what it takes in terms of the personnel, in terms of the, enabling resources, in terms of money to be able to, investigate and prosecute, cases. So that's why you see, halfway when they start, they are not able to conclude successfully because they cannot be able to match with those corrupt people who have high, competent lawyers to defend them.
Bottom line is, beyond the core issues of corruption, there are other things that are factored into this report. That it's not just about the core issue of corruption alone, because from what you have been saying, there are basically some core issues outside of corruption that must be in place as well to help Nigeria improve on its ranking.
Yeah, definitely. If we really want to improve in our rating, the space for civil society, the press freedom, respect for human rights must be in place. Otherwise, there's no way our rating, will be, improved.
Okay, I appreciate what you have said. Now, you are a Nigerian before you are the representative of Transparency Nigeria. You are a Nigerian. Tell me, in your own opinion, how would you assess or rate the performance of this government now in terms of the fight against corruption? Well, I just want to let's put that report, the transparency report, aside. I'm asking you now, as a Nigerian, how exactly would you rate the fight against
my rating of the Nigerian government, in terms of its anti-corruption drive, is that because we have 36 states of the federation, we have federal capital, which is the national level. We have 777 local governments in Nigeria. All these tiers of government, majority of them, they don't have regard or compliance on anti-corruption. And therefore, if you are going to judge Nigeria, you are not going to do it in isolation with the other tiers of government.
Oh, I see.
You equally have legislature, you have judiciary, you have the executive. So when you are coming to do all this assessment and rating, you have to look at all these aspects. And you know very well, as a Nigerian, you know that, really, most of these institutions, most of the tiers of government are not actually in tandem with even the fight against corruption. So this is why the fight against corruption in Nigeria has not yielded the needed results. And that is why you see, a lot of arrests. Countries where, you see that, their corruption situation has improved, you would see that there's no much, problems, regarding how healthy their democratic institutions are. But because of the failure for Nigerian government at local government, at the state level and federal level, to be able to ensure that, we have, transparent and accountable leadership in place. That is why the rating is difficult to achieve. And that's why the anti-corruption assessment in Nigeria, is really rather very low and poor. Moreover, the president of Nigeria had made commitment in 2016 in London Anti-Corruption Conference, where a lot of commitments, were made, including enacting beneficial ownership register, which will enable us to deal with issues of access recovery.
The recovered assets, they're basically in an account in the central bank.
No. It's not just the money matter.
You're talking about
there are properties. Yes. There are properties. There are jewelries. There are so many things, land and what have you. And the absence of, having a coordinated central register or framework to manage this continue to create problems.
Absolutely. So there's a sense there. I mean, there's a sense on what you have just said. But very quickly, because we're running out of time. You look at the corruption perception index now. You look at that report by Transparency International, and it's quite surprising that we're beginning to see a drop now in the perception index now, in even places that had always done well. I mean, places like the United States, for instance, we're beginning to see some kind of drop in other countries. So across the world, it appears we're beginning to see some kind of drop. Why is this so?
Yeah, because like I told you, once you have an healthy democratic institution, once you do not have a healthy, transparent and accountable leadership, once the media and civil society are being emasculated and shrinking, the space is shrinking, there's no way you can really have, a better, scoring. And that is why we're not surprised that, even the country like the United States of America, because of all the issue that they have been going through, their rating has also gone down. So it is not about Nigeria or Africa alone, it is global. And the idea of the Corruption Perception Index is to see how we can wake up, as a country, to be able to fix problems, like in terms of, policy and legislation, where you have absence of policy and legislation, you should enact them. Where they are not being implemented, you strengthen them to make sure that there's a compliance. And where there's impunity or there's a breach of those, laws, there must be sanction, there must be penalty. But as it is now, many people are just, enjoying themselves, perpetuating impunity without being called to order.
Mr. Rafsanjani, thank you very much for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time.